Hello, everyone. Bill Woods and Janet and Jeffrey. Is that it? David, Gary. David, thanks for them videos you've been sending. Robert's here tonight. Good to see everyone here. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. And remember, no matter what they tell you, today is to go out and pay tribute to the people that you've loved, that you've lost. This is not Veterans Day, but people keep saying it. What we need to do is make a Veterans Month. If you can have a Black History Month, if you can have all this stuff like that, why can't the veterans have their own day, their own month? But then again, Memorial Day is for me to go out and pay respects to my mom and dad, to my brother-in-law, to the people that I've lost in my life. Because everybody says if it wasn't for the military, the ones that's lost their lives, we wouldn't be where we were. But if we're going to go there, we got to go back to the Revolutionary War. And what about the women who sacrificed so much, sneaking all over the place, helping people? What about the farmers who give up their lives? This is a country that's going to be 250 years old, and we deserved, all of us, to get credit. And, they do things, and it disappoints me when they do them because it's wrong. That's why we have Veterans Day. And guys, there's no one that respects veterans more than me. But today is not their day. But we will honor them. I put flowers on a couple of fallen soldiers this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge, and I'm going to go into music, and then we'll come back. I want everybody to know that when I play the music, I have no legal rights to it. Ron has no legal rights to it. We have no legal rights to it. We play it because it likes it, because we like it. If I discuss money tonight, which I'm going to, but if I do, I am not a financial planner. I just give you my opinions, and you can decide what you want to do. And this video is not meant for children, but they can watch it under the discretion of their parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave them right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless
Yes, yes, yes. God bless the USA. And my shirt's dirty tonight, guys. I apologize. Me and Ron had dinner early tonight. We cooked steak out on the grill. And no, I didn't have to take out a loan in my house to get it. It was, I guess you would say it's on sale. It's steak that we used to get for a few dollars a pound. Now it's, under 10, we'll put it that way. But they're little Jimmy, Super Jimmy, with our children. Here's a little boy that's went through more than any young man his age should go through at this point. First losing his mommy, finding out that his mommy was expecting a baby sister, losing her, and now his big brother. But it gets worse, guys. We really need to keep this family in our prayers still because it gets worse. The dad is having some issues right now, and it's, I believe, anxiety, but I told him to get into the hospital. Hi, Lynn. Tony, good to see you. Karen, always good to see you. But when the big brother Larry passed away the other day, and I want to thank everybody for praying for the family, and I hope you're continuing to do so. But when he passed away, he was going to propose to a beautiful little girl, ask her to marry him, be his wife. Had the ring in his pocket, from what I understand. And then something happened that shouldn't have happened. And I'm not going to go into a political thing here, but it's wrong. And I hope the people who did it pay dearly by, number one, getting them the hell out of our country. Then as I'm talking to Jimmy's dad, I believe the girl he was going to marry, Larry was going to marry, his name is Sarah, I think. Well, that's what we're going to call her tonight. Sarah was going to surprise Larry on Father's Day with a gift that, hey, we're going to have a baby. Guys, when I heard that story, I lost it. It took me back to when I was going into the 7th grade when one of my brother Ron's, Patriot 6, his best friends, Lloyd Phillips, his brother Johnny Dale was my best friend, or one of them at the time, and he lost his life in Vietnam, a senseless war that, because of bush beans and all that, people wanted to get richer and richer and richer. And that's all war is, guys. All war is, they don't care about this, they don't care about that. It's the greedy sons of bitches that all they want to do. And excuse me, kids, I know I'm doing a kids section, but I got to talk my mind sometimes. It's the greedy people that all they want is money, money, money. So he went back for his second tour of duty. He's going to make a little extra money. She begged him not to go. Keep your head low. Didn't matter. The last mission he was going to go on before he came home. It was only like a 6-month tour the second time. And the last mission, some guy about 20 feet over stepped on a live mine, and it took out almost the whole platoon. To watch at his funeral, at the burial, just a few feet from where my grandparents are buried, to watch this young lady, 9 months pregnant. We thought she was going to give birth. She got so distraught. So when I heard this about Larry, it brought back memories. And all I can say for the Moran family, we'll continue to pray for you. We'll be here for you. Hey, John. Patriot 11. Where you at in school now is all the kids. If I heard right, tomorrow is my grandkids is 3 of them's last day of school. And then Small Hank and Kira will have their last day of school this Friday. Patriot Wyatt Earp and Patriot Karate Kid, your mom thanked me for wishing her a happy Mother's Day. Guys, weirdest thing happened to me yesterday. I went into my messenger and there was like 8 or 9 women thanked me for wishing them a happy Mother's Day. It's like, don't these people ever go to Messenger? But you're all welcome. Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter, her brother. I know, Princess, you're probably playing softball by now, and I hope you're dominating like you have the ability to do. Patriot Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogero, and Boogie. All of them John's grandchildren, and you have an amazing grandpa there. Patriot Little Leona and Little Elan. You know, you're the youngest ones, but we still love you. Patriot Xenia and Patriot Anya, Cutie Pie, and Patriot 17 are the Ukrainian kids. And from what I understand, they had a pretty good weekend. They got to go for a walk. Can you imagine that, Bill Woods and John and Janet and Ian, Betty Woods? Can you imagine thinking you had a great weekend just because you could go outside and go for a walk and not have to look over your shoulder and think that something bad could happen? I believe they're out of school now. No, Ron says they still got a couple more days, Jeffrey. Hey, Vicky, good to see you. Soretta, good to see you. And then we have Patriot Super Gymnast, who I did a video call today, and I seen Patriot Small Gymnast. She was all smiles, wanted to talk to her grandpa because she had the cutest little pink shirt on. I love my grandpa. She wanted me to come over, and I was going to go over, but then they decided to go swimming. I tried them to come over to our house to go swim in our pool, but they said, oh, it's too cold. And then they go swimming at the pool right over there across the street from Grandma Bo. Patriot Small Hank and Patriot Carol went swimming in our pool. And here I wanted to go with the whole family today. The whole family went. And now one of them asked me, what do you think about that, John? How about you, Ian? That's okay. I was wore out anyway. I got to go lay down and try to take a nap, but wasn't able to do so. That concludes tonight's version of the kids. I know it wasn't a whole lot, but kids, there's not really a whole lot we can talk about. There's going to be some things coming up real soon. It's going to be very excitable for you. And the fact that who knows when you're going back to school. Hey, Gary. Remember, this video is not for children. They can watch it under the discretion of their parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music we played, we have no legal rights to. And I am going to talk about some money tonight because I just want to talk about some money. So, Patriot Savior, she's been sending me a lot of things recently. Um, she sent me one here from X. It's got that's what I saw on it. It says the day your prayers come to fruition is now. Another one with him. We thank Q, sir, forever. And he's showing who Q, sir, really is. And naturally, it would do that. I don't even know why I try to show pictures like that. It always happens. Right here. Does that man look familiar, guys? So that's a man that when I was in the fourth grade, they told me he wasn't with us no more. And I said, no one can kill my president. And I think it's going to come out very soon that I was right. And you know what's funny about that is on the last day my mom was alive, we didn't know she was going to pass away that day. She was healthy that day. She just had a brain aneurysm and we lost her. But on that day, she was talking to a cousin of hers. And the cousin said, Leona, what are you doing? And she said, Nettie, I'm talking to my baby boy, having lunch with my baby boy and my oldest son, Ron. At 48 years old, I was still my mom's baby boy. Any of the kids that I just talked to, are you still your mom and dad's baby boy, baby girl? And it's something that I'll remember my whole life. But as I made the statement when I was in the fourth grade and our phone rang at Buckingham Grade School and the principal went in, they only had 3 rooms, 2 classes in each room. First, second, third, fourth, and then fifth, sixth. Fifth, sixth was run by the principal, Mr. Cunningham. Mrs. Coulters had third and fourth, and Mrs. Collins had first and second. When the phone rang, all 3 of them converged into the library right outside everybody's door. Answered the phone, one of those phones that they put on the wall. And then all of a sudden, Mrs. Coulter's come back into our class. Mr. Cunningham went into his. Mrs. Collins went into theirs, and we all talked for a couple of minutes. And the next thing we knew, everybody was meeting out on the front lawn. And I made the statement, no, he's not. He's not gone. Nobody can kill my president. And the reason I'm saying this, because on that day that my mom died, she also looked at me and says, do you still believe that? And I said, yes, I do. And I'll go into another show one of these days about why I believe it even more so now, before I even knew about the special beds. And that's because of a guy named Aristotle. He owned his own island. This is back before we knew about these other islands, these not so good islands. But he owned his own island. And I'm telling you, he had security so amazing. You couldn't get within 10 miles of that place. John and Bill and David couldn't get within 10 miles. So what would be a better place for this old man, this old gizzard, to marry the most beautiful first lady we've ever had in our life? I'm not so much sure about now because I'm kind of a Melania fan, but then I also lean more towards Jackie because she's an American. And so is Melania, but, she's got that accent. You understand what I mean. It's a different era. Beautiful place to hide them out. And we got another one here. This is from John Jr. EBS alert starts tonight at midnight. Stock up on food, meds, and toilet paper. Stay ready. This is global. Next drop will be bigger. Final alert. Warning. Another one with Axel Vesa. See you in a few hours. Are you prepared? Darla DeBuzz says RV comes first. This is from Whiplash 347. DJT has declared on July 4th the liberation of the entire world. The entire world is being liberated from the forces of evil that have been terrorizing humans for centuries. DJT has declared that on July 4th, 2026, we will experience the liberation of the entire world and the world peace. The deep state's plans through Iran have been eliminated. We are experiencing a divine plan that is working through imperfect people. We are living through the most crucial time in human history when the power of darkness is being shattered and the controlling rule of evil is being ended. Goodness, truth, healing, and restoration will increasingly become manifest in our world. This came from David Sorensen. Keep your vibes high. Greatness is upon us. The best is ahead. Continue to rise. Let's go, Brendo. Indy, green flag, start time 11:49 Central Time, CT. 11:49 equals 170. World War III, and then suddenly the shape of water, wealth transfer. This is my son. It has started. There's a lot of noise, a lot of names, and a lot of stories. I stayed silent for a reason that will soon become clear, but I'm here now, and this comes from Vesa. Friday is Christmas. Did you know? The 47 character leaves us. And I wanted to talk about that because it seems like right now people are obsessed with him leaving us. Have you noticed that, Papa G and Kevin and Ian? People are obsessed right now with him leaving. They're totally that way. But one person over here, Sean Trucking, Janet, Kevin, one person will say he's going to unite the whole world. I just read he wants liberation for every country in the world by July 4th. July 4th is going to be Liberation Day. So why would he be leaving? We've read many, many stories that he's going to be one of the four kings, but he's going to be the number one of the four kings. You know, they say this story, this movie, the ending isn't going to be for everybody. Well, if he's leaving the way they say it, sure the heck ain't going to be for him. But with the help of Savior and all the things that she sent me, that I read these little stories, Nita and Tony and Papa G, Vicky, if you didn't get anything out of it, what you should have got was it's just keep coming and coming. When you actually stop and think about what's going on, what do you really ever hear anymore that's really negative? I was watching a video the other day with 4547, and he comes out and he makes a statement. He's given a certain country, IRAN, this amount of time, and if they don't do something, they're sending in something. I don't remember what it was. They're sending in something to put an end to it. And whatever they're sending in has never failed. 100% of the time that they've used it, it's successful. They would rather do it by the right way, just no force. But they're going to put an end to it. Then he goes on to say, and this is something that was near and dear to my heart because of Julia, Masha, Lady Victoria, and the two kids, all the other people in the Ukraine, all the people in Russia. 370,000 plus soldiers have died in 4 years in this war just from Russia. Russia has went to where they wanted to put an end to this war, but they wanted a region called the Donbass region. They would take control of it because it's full of oil, diamonds, rubies. It has so much in there, it would automatically make them one of the richest countries in the world. It would make sure they had oil forever. They want that region because they say because of this war, Ukraine can't afford to do all this stuff. So in a letter to Julia one day, when I told her about this, and she said, that's what they're saying, Ralph, in her next letter back to me. So I went to him and I said, okay, then why don't we do this? If they really want to end the war, why don't we do this? Why don't Russia put up 75% of the money to do it? The Ukraine will put up 25% of the money to do it. They'll work together. What a better way to come together as two countries. What a better way to come together in a big N and big G than two countries that's been in war for 4 years. Come together. The Beatles made a song, Come Together, right now. Why can't they do this? They could do this for 5 years. The money that the Ukraine on their 25% would get out of it. Now, all of a sudden, in 5 years, they could set up a thing for the next 100 years. We'll split it 50-50. You would bring two countries together. Makes sense to me. Now I watched another video just yesterday, and Mr. Putin is saying that their country's almost broke, that they really need the help of China. They need the help of India. They need the help of Venezuela. They need the help of so many. And they're getting mad because they thought they had Canada in their back pocket. Now Canada is supposedly backing out and they don't have the money. Then why not end the war? You know why? Because the two people that is running these two countries, they're so conceited. But it doesn't matter because the man is about ready to step in, crush him like a bug on a rug, and take control. Whether people want to understand this or not, we are leading to heaven on earth. And I know I go into my Telegram site, and there's been a lot of negativity. So I don't go in there much anymore because I give the people the right to say what they want to, but I also have the right to not go in there and get disappointed because I'm afraid I'd say something, Vicky, John, Gary, Nita. And it's a shame that we're like this because we have went so long and we have worked so hard to get to where we're almost there. Remember what I tell you, it only has to happen one time. This isn't something that, as the song says, has to happen over and over and over again. It has to happen one time. And there's a date set that we want to have total liberation in this whole world, Sean's Trucking. We want to have total liberation, Jeffrey, in this whole world by the 4th of July. Can anybody just take a moment and close your eyes? I can. I might go to sleep if I do. Can you just close your eyes and think what it's going to be like? What it's going to be like when money's really not an issue. What it's going to be like when everybody has what they need. What it's going to be like when the people, such as my son, who will be 42 years old in September, when he has to go to work, he doesn't have to sit there and work for 8, 9, 10 hours. I was watching someone today. I did go into our Telegram site and someone made the statement. They're from Canada. Well, it's not a holiday in Canada. I've still got to go in there. And they figured out how they can make us work 44 hours a week. 44 hours a week and not have to pay overtime. Unreal. But it's not going to be like that. It's going to come to a point where a job, it's like the song says, you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be feeling fine because you knew your job was on your mind. You had a little dream last night and you knew you had to go to work. It isn't going to matter. You're not going to have them. I like to call them nerd foremen. You know what I mean by a nerd foreman? Expert 1871 and Kevin. A nerd foreman is a guy who couldn't cut it as a worker in a factory. They couldn't cut it. They got the top job because of mommy, daddy, uncle, aunt, or they like to kiss a lot of behind. And there was a couple of them at my factory. They was what I considered nerd foremen. One of them is with a guy he laid. He hurt his, David and Tony, Robert Ford. He hurt his back. How did he hurt his back? He wasn't even working. He hurt his back, and then when we come to find out, he was sitting in the cafeteria drinking a soda, and he picked up the cup and he ached his back. So he got to go on light duty, and every day he'd come in and he'd lay on a bench for 8 hours a day. And all of a sudden, one day they decided, let's make him a foreman. You know what? His back never hurt him because he didn't have to do real work. He got the power to go and tell people. There's a few times he tried to tell me what to do. I told him what to do too because he didn't know what he was talking about. But one day I set him up. He comes to me. And I worked in a department, guys, and this is what I call these nerd foremen. I worked in a department with charging cycle. And when we got a bad storm, if the power got knocked out, we had to run as fast as we can. And everybody in that department had a certain area that they had to go. And they had to pull the switches to undo that power because if that power come back on and that wasn't done, it would blow the whole roof completely off. And this guy become foreman. And his buddy's in there as the assistant foreman. And we had a storm and we all run. He white slipped each and every one of us because we were not in our area. We were where we were supposed to be. We were doing. So about a month later, we had another storm. And we all agreed we're just going to go to the safe area. We're not going to do what we're supposed to do. Our union rep literally took a video of the man telling us, if this happens again, you get to this area, you don't go to where you went. Even though he didn't know what he was talking about. Another storm a little bit later. It blew the roof. Needless to say, the plant manager was not happy. Tried writing every one of us in the department up and discipline us. And then our union rep showed the man, our president, the video. Well, let's put it this way. This nerd foreman, all of a sudden he wasn't so bad anymore because one more mistake and he was gone there, Myrna had. And I'm just trying to tell you that the jobs are not going to be like, Myrna does a lot of hair. And I mean, she'll continue to do it. But instead of working 10 and 12 hours a day, she might work 5 or 6. And if someone says, well, what about my hair? Well, there'll be more people doing it because you're only going to work 5 or 6 hours. 30 to maybe 30 hours a week. So that's my feelings about it. I believe we're going to be going to a world of happiness, joy, peace, and love. Can you imagine Ian Bell and Myrna, David, Gary? Can you imagine there's going to be a time you're going to be able to go in the store? Now go in the store now and pick up a prime rib, pick up a couple of T-bone steak, a couple porterhouse steak, maybe some lamb chops, some ground beef, the good stuff, some pork chops, some chicken. Pick up all that stuff and put it in your cart and take it up and store to pay for it. You can't afford it, especially senior citizens. You can't afford it. But imagine just going into them same stores and get whatever you want, just walking out, and they say, have a good day there, Mr. Anderson. Have a good day there, Myrna. Have a good day there, Papa G. Money's not going to be of a value, but we have to get to that point. Do I believe it? Yes. I believe in the special beds. I believe in the quantum financial system. I believe in all of this stuff. Man, I'm telling you, I have been getting hounded so much. I have been getting hounded so much about getting my quantum financial system hooked up. And I said, wait a minute. They're going to do that for me when I go to the redemption. Well, why do you want to wait? I said, because that's what I've been told. Well, I'm telling you it's different. And I said, and you are who? The last I seen you, buddy, your name does not start with G and end with D. I don't think you're God. He kept sending me messages, and I quit answering. And all of a sudden, one day, he said, oh, we don't talk no more? And I said, I don't talk to people. It's stupid. And then I try to be nice, but my goodness gracious. Some of these people out there, they're just, I don't even know what time it is. Yeah. It's going to be a quick show tonight, guys, because there's really not much out there. Mark Z said that where the Bonds people should be going this week. Bruce is going to say, guys, you want me to do Bruce's show tomorrow night? You want me to do Bruce's show? Well, I was told by one of my top people that the Redemption Center will be working this weekend or this week. If all goes right, we should have our 800 numbers Wednesday, Thursday. Go to the Redemption Center on Thursday, Friday. This is breaking news. It's the same old story. And I'm not cutting Bruce down. You know what? Bruce is doing what Bruce needs to do. He's got a group of followers that like to go and buy his products, that like to sit through an hour and a half, an hour and 45-minute show while they're making boatloads of money. And while Sue and Bob's running the show, and then Bruce will come on for 7 to 9, 10 minutes. But it's the same thing. It could go this weekend. It's going to happen on a 3-day weekend. Hope we don't have to take it to a 3-day weekend now, because I think the next 3-day weekend, I don't know when it is. Labor Day? And another question is 4th of July is 4th of July. Why is Memorial Day today? Because when I was a kid growing up, I think you two, Bill and Janet, David, when we were kids growing up, Memorial Day was the 31st of the month. So I did my cemetery run yesterday. We didn't do the full one because one of the cemeteries we go to is about a 50-mile trip one way, and we go over there for 2 graves. My sister had went over there during the week and said she took care of it. I said, good. Saved me 100 miles, which is about 5 gallons of gas, so $25, $4.99 a gallon here. But that's okay because, eggs are only $1.89 or $1.99 a dozen. So we can eat all the eggs we want, but we can't get in the car to go buy them. I was talking to my son, Brandon. They got these new bikes out. They got these little motors on. I hate them. I hate them because there's kids in my town that they have these. There's young kids, teenagers, maybe not even quite teenagers yet. And there's one little girl in there, and she's fat. Now, I don't tell her that, and she'll never watch this show, and neither will her parents. But this little girl is a overweight little girl. But the one thing you could always look forward to her, every summer she was on her bike and she was riding it all over town. Now she's got one of these motorized bikes, and she never gets on her bike to ride it. I said, I'd like to have one, a nice one in a way, so I could drive from Buckingham to Herscher, have a little basket on it, and go get some groceries, and, not cost me anything. Since my little dog died, I've been walking down here to Ronsit in the daytime. I don't have to bring her. She's not with me anymore. But it's these kids, this young girl. And I'm talking to her mom 2 days ago. And she's shaking her head. I said, what's the matter? And she says, I don't know what to do with, and I can't mention names. I don't know what to do with so-and-so. And I said, what's the matter? And she goes, she's gained 10 pounds in the last 6 weeks. I said, well, really? Yeah. She said, Ralph, she's only 11 years old. She's heavy to begin with, and now she's gained 10 pounds. And we're watching what we're eating. I said, well, what exercise does she get? What do you mean? I said, well, I keep my weight off because I walk and walk and walk, but what exercise does she get? I said, let's see. This time of year, by now, she's usually riding her bicycle all over town. Now she takes her motorized bike out. You're not going to get no exercise riding a motorized bike because, you can pedal it also. But they don't do it. And what upsets me the most is if you're going to ride a motorized bike, you should have to have a license. This same little girl and another girl who has one pulled right out in front of me the other day, and I had to swear I thought I was going to hit them. And I don't want to do that, even if I don't believe in them. So I just think we need to get a more balanced diet for kids. We need to get them off the computer. We need to get them off the tablets. We need to get them off the cell phones. And I could cover that with the kids when I do it, but I'm trying to open up parents and grandparents' eyes. As I said right now, the only reading part I got other than what I did, and I'm going to finish the show tonight with Dinar Chronicles, Judy Bidington, Restored Republic, GCR as of May 25th, 2026. According to updates shared by Judy Bidington, there is growing anticipation regarding a transition toward gold-backed financial structure. Recent statements from leadership suggest that diplomatic efforts are underway to reconcile international tensions and a move that analysts believe is crucial for the stability required for a broader multinational economic reset. At the heart of the discussion is a potential implementation of the global currency reset, GCR, and the associated with the NESARA/GESARA framework. Proponents of these theories argue that a transition away from traditional fiat currency system is already in progress utilizing a quantum financial system, QFS. The narrative suggests that this shift aims to replace current debt-based models with a system backed by tangible assets designed to foster global prosperity and redefine how individuals interact with banking institutions. The reports also emphasize the importance of preparation awareness, suggests circulated by various commentators include diversifying personal holdings with precious metals like gold and silver and staying informed about potential changes to the banking procedures. There is a strong emphasis on the idea that the existing financial infrastructure is undergoing a period of transformation with some experts pointing to high-level resignations and policy shifts as evidence that a major structural change is being orchestrated behind the scenes. While these perspectives remain a subject of intense debate and speculation, they highlight a widespread interest in the future of global economy, whether or not specific predictions manifest as outlined. The ongoing conversations reflect a broader public desire for transparency, fairness, and foundational stability in global finance grid. As with the significant economic discussions, those interested are encouraged to conduct their own thorough research, because what Judy does, she puts this up here, is something she believes in. She does the research, but she really believes that everyone should do something. The storm is upon us. MOAB about to drop. The Republic has been restored via a global currency reset. Thank you for your attention. This matter, DJT. Judy, note, an agreement has been largely negotiated, subject to finalization between the United States of America, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the various other countries listed. President DJT announced on Sunday, 24th May 2026, the Iranian conflict was finally settled. If the Iranian conflict was finally settled, it would clear the way for Iran to be part of a gold asset-backed global currency reset of 209 nations, and explain why Iranian rial new rate were already listed on the back screen. Redemption centers, no nation could participate in the GCR if they were at war with another country. A MOAB is about to drop. It was rumored that he referred to a scare event in the form of a global financial thing. Once the conflict is over in Iran, number 4547 will then turn his attention to the other two countries, and he will put it to them plain and simple: you end it or we'll end it. You be your leaders or we'll be your leaders. That is coming from probably the man with the most influence in the whole world, and he is tired of people being at wars, people losing lives. So, guys, the time is now. We're ready for the global currency reset. We're ready for the financial systems. We're ready for everything. We're going to get rid of all wars, and then there will be no wars. Can you imagine a country being dumb enough to decide they want to go to war and have to fight 208 countries? Because that's what it'll be. Now, as I told you, I am not a financial advisor, and I am not Bruce, and I will not promote Sue, and I will not promote Bob. But what I will tell you, if you have a few bucks, go to a place like Uphold, open an account. Last I checked was $1.35 to $1.40. If you can only afford 20 to 50 XRP, buy them. 20 would cost you about $27. I was watching a video the other day and a guy said you can become wealthy with one. I personally don't believe that, because to become wealthy, most people's going to think they have to be a millionaire. And this has nothing to do with all the money. Guys, if you don't want to do it, and like I said, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you a chance to look at something. So you can do that. If you want to get in, you just heard me read. Iran has had to sign this agreement because their currency is on the back screen. It cannot be there if they're at war. So they've had to sign it, Papa G and Janet. That is huge. Now we got to go in and tell these two, I'm going to call it idiots, it's time to end this other part. As I have discussed with Julia, we're going to build it. And we're going to get the parents who's lost their children, who their children will not be sitting in their chairs no more. They won't be sitting there no more because they're gone. We can never, ever, ever, Janet and Jeffrey and Kevin, we can never go in, Ian Bell and Papa G, Gary. We can never go in and replace the children that have been lost. The chairs will stay empty. The beds in the bedroom will stay empty, but we can build it. We can show these parents, hey, did you ever think about adopting? You lost a son. You lost a daughter. Look here's a 14-year-old boy here. He can sit in that chair. He can sleep in that bed. And no, it's not your blood child. But 20 years from now, will you think that way? 20 years from now, when you're a grandparent, and now you have grandchildren, will you think that way? No, you won't. We can ease the pain of so many people in them two countries, in countries all over the world. We can ease the pain. We can do all of this and help all of these people. I think right now, currency to look at is the 500 MIL in Venezuela, is the 1 million Bolivar. If you can afford it, any kind of Zim, you can go and get 10 million, 10 trillion, very cheap. Vietnamese dong, and there's others. A friend of mine just said to me the other day, hey, Ralph, this is where the money is. And I went out. I bought 50. I bought 50 of these 500 MILs in Venezuela. And he tells me this is going to be the money maker. I believe him. I like the man. I bought 50 of them. It cost me less than $20. Shipped to my door, and I got them in 4 days. All I did was went in, did a Google search. It came up, bought them, ready to go. And guys, do not feel obligated to go get anything. I'm just trying to tell you, if you really want to set yourself up a little better, you're going to get money whether you got currency or not. You're going to get money. You're going to have more than enough to live on. But maybe you want that little extra. One last thing I want to talk about is I love the game of baseball. I go to my grandson's baseball games, and I'm sick and tired of watching parents coach. We lost a game the other night. Because the team we played was undefeated, and we was a much better team than that team. It's a league that there should be no stealing, but they allow you to steal. So you walk a kid, he steals second, he steals third. And if the catcher's dumb enough to throw down to third, throws it into left field, he can come in and score. Or there's a thing that if you come into third and you round it, you don't stop until you make them stop and go back to the base. They can run in and score. They scored 8 of their 10 runs that way. The coaches never once went out to any of the kids. I said, call timeout. I'll explain to them. It'll take me 2 minutes to explain to these kids what to do. After it happened the first time, we could have saved 7 runs and beat the undefeated team. I want to start hiring coaches. I want to start making camps for kids girls and boys where they can go. I don't care who they are. They can go to the camps. It'll be free. We'll have to hire people to run them, hire coaches to teach these kids. I want to make the game of baseball the greatest game in the world again. Good night. God bless. Ron and me love you forever. And we'll be on Wednesday night. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some good news tonight, tomorrow. And let's hope and pray that everything goes good. Keep your vibrations up. I want to thank it tonight. I was looking over here and yes, you'll still get your pension and your 401k. You won't need it, Jerry, but you'll get it. With that, good night. God bless. And we'll see you on Wednesday night.